Alright, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? We are here doing the final review for the final Bad Boys movie, Bad Boys Ride or Die. This is the final installment as of the current day in the Bad Boys franchise. If a new one comes, then you'll know that I will drop a review for that, but for now, this is the final movie that we have. So with that said, let's get into it. Starting off with the characters, I would say that in this movie in particular, I would probably say that this is Marcus's weakest as a character. Like Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, they still do a great job of playing the characters, but I will say Marcus in this movie, he was probably my least favorite in all the movies. I'm just gonna come out and say it. He went on like this whole like arc, not arc, but like this movie, he almost dies at the beginning, and then from that he like no longer fears death, and up until this point his character has always been the one that's like not secluded, but like he doesn't want to get involved in the action so much. And Will Smith's character, like, he is more so like the one that's like, yeah, let's go in guns a-blazing and stuff. So to see, it's not like they do a role swap per se, because Will Smith, like, he does now face like anxiety attacks and stuff, but he is still very much like he's not like suddenly scared of like violence or anything like that. So they don't necessarily do a role swap, but Marcus, like, he does become way more willing to get into danger in this one. So I don't really think it works for me. I didn't really like it because up until this point I liked the dynamic of like them going back and forth, and like a lot of the comedy stemmed from Marcus like being unwilling to like, or being opposed to like the stuff that they were doing up until this point. So yeah, I didn't really like that about Marcus in this movie. Will Smith, Mike, his character, other than like, I think the panic attacks were fine. They weren't really anything that took away from his character really. I will say that he does marry, what's her name? Christine. He marries Christine. I don't really care for Christine's character. Like, we don't know her up until this point. Each movie, Mike's been with like a different woman. Like in the first one, like there was kind of a romantic thing going on with Max. In the second one, there was Sid. In the third one, there was Rita. Rita's in this one as well. Also, Sid is referenced in this one, so I'll get into that later. And this one, he just like, he marries Christine, which is like his therapist, but we don't know anything about her. Like, this is a new character that we've never really seen before, so I just don't really feel anything towards her, like, because I just, she's like this new character. I don't really know anything about her personality or anything. She's just kind of there because I felt like they wanted like Mike to settle down, but they didn't want to use like Rita, so they just like used just some new character. So yeah, I don't really care for Christine. Captain Conrad Howard, he is back in this. He died in the last movie. In this movie though, we see him like in videos that he recorded for Mike and Marcus. So we see him in that, and he's still good. Like he was very good in the last three movies. In this movie, he's also still pretty good. He appears in like visions, I guess, that Marcus has. Also Mike towards the end. So he plays his role well and stuff. Probably my favorite character though is Armando. Just like in the last movie, Armando, he played the villain very well. In this movie, he plays like this. He plays this like estranged son of Mike very well, and he's you know, he's like he's very skilled, he's trained and stuff, but he's not like he doesn't have a relationship with his dad, so they don't exactly get along like I guess like Mike would hope so, because he's still very much like a hardened criminal, and it creates a good dynamic. It creates an interesting dynamic between Mike and Armando. So I would actually say in this movie I more so liked the dynamic with Mike and Armando rather than Mike and Marcus, I would say. So other than that, who else we got? We got Callie and Judy. They were here. Judy played by Reese Horn, who played Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. She was in this. She was good. I was like, throughout the movie, like Armando was probably my favorite character in the movie. So like Judy was throughout the entire movie trying to go after him, and she was like very adamant on like killing him. And part of me was like, wow, she's kind of like, she's really I don't like that she's doing that. But then I remember like, oh, she did kill, like Armando did kill Judy's dad, so it's like, okay, yeah, I guess it's justified then. Callie's good. She's in like the opening scene. She speaks about Captain Howard. Other than that, she is good in this, I guess. Like she creates a situation where Armando can like get a bit of redemption, I guess, like at least in the eyes of Judy. Other than that, this movie has a lot of cameos, like more than I was expecting. Like, I wrote them down here. You have DJ Khaled, he returns. He made a cameo in the last movie. Joyner Lucas, very unexpected. He was in this. They do reference Sanchez and Ryuz, who were in the. I didn't really talk about them in the previous reviews. They were in the first and second movie. I did like them a lot actually in the second movie, like especially the scene where it's like they purposely crash the hospital, what's the word, ambulance into the hospital, like in order to save Mike and Marcus. So they were good characters, and they were referenced in this movie that they did end up dying after the events of Bad Boys 2. So that was nice to have some callbacks. That's another thing. I love that this movie, like, I love how they kept the continuity. Like, they brought back Armando, they referenced Sid, they referenced Sanchez and Ryuz. I always love when like movies do that. I don't like when you have like a series or a movie or something, and then you have like all this lore and stuff that they build up, and then they just ignore so much of it. And then you're thinking to yourself, like, what about this thing that they established earlier? What about like these characters that we're aware of, or this I don't know, device or something, or this thing that we've established early on in the story, and now we're just not using it. I don't like when like movies or shows do that. So I do like when stuff is established early on, and then we still call back to it. I like when that happens. Who else? I'm pretty sure Michael Bay was in this. He makes a cameo. Also in the last movie he did. I forgot to mention that. Khaby Lame was in this. So yeah, that was another cameo. So in terms of the characters, I think that was pretty much all of them, right? That was... oh yeah, the villain. I didn't really care for him. He was probably... It was kind of similar, like... He was a bit better than the first villain. I forgot his name also. Something with F, I don't remember. But this villain, his name was... something, James McGrath, I think. Yeah, so he was, I don't know, his goal was just like, he was like bad guy, cartel member, and then he just wanted like to cover up his tracks that Captain Howard was trying to expose. So I don't really care for him as a villain. I thought Armando did a better, what's his name? Yeah, Armando, he did a better job as a villain in the last movie, so I didn't really care for the villain in this one. Who else? There was also the Ammo Squad was in this. They didn't really play as big of a role as the last one, but they were there, and I guess the stuff that they did was fine, not anything to be upset about. Reggie, he was in this movie. I liked him in the second one, I liked him in the third movie, and in this one he plays a great role in it, and honestly, he has one of the best scenes in the whole movie, in my opinion, with him defending Teresa, and I forgot the name of his wife, but yeah, he does a good job in fighting off the intruders. So I liked Reggie a lot in this. So overall, I would give the. Oh, also there was before I forget, Rita's boyfriend that turned out to be a bad guy. Yeah, I don't even remember his name, and I don't see it here. So yeah, I didn't care about him. Forgot him. He reminded me of like Kevin Bacon from Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Like his character was like early on, you know, like, okay, this guy is gonna probably end up being like a villain or something. So anyway, in terms of characters, I would probably give it like probably like a 6.5 out of 10. Like there was no characters that were like really bad per se, so I would just yeah, probably just 6.5. They're good. I'm gonna do something with the calculations at the end. I'm not going to put it in now. I will do a cool magic trick later on with that. In terms of the plot, I would say the plot is not as good as the last movie. I like the plot in the last movie much better, where it's like you have Armando trying to get revenge on Mike. In this movie, the plot is just basically Captain Howard is being framed, and Mike and Marcus want to make sure his legacy doesn't get ruined and stuff. So it's a good enough motivation, but at the same time, like, it's not something like the villain. They don't really have a personal connection to the characters and stuff, and so the plot, it was fine, it was serviceable. I would give it probably like I give it also a 6.5 out of 10. It was good. It was not like great or anything. In terms of the setting, I did not really. So it is like one of my critiques is that not critiques, but I do say like I like modern stuff a lot more than the stuff in the olden days. So so now you have like much better cameras and stuff in like the modern movies. But in this movie, I would say the last movie was very bright and colorful and like very vibrant. This one, it didn't feel as much like colorful, and so the settings, like there was like the art gallery and stuff. I was hoping for like some really nice colors there, but it felt kind of plain, most of it. So yeah, other than that, Miami is still a good enough place for a setting. You had the ending with not the bayou, but like the dock area. That was, I guess, probably the best setting in my opinion. Other than that, the settings, they were all like, you know, decent, nothing really special about them. So anyway, in terms of action, I would say that the action for this movie was pretty good. Probably my favorite action scene was the one with Reggie defending the house. Other than that, you have the ending with, you got some explosions going on there. You had, I will say, one of my critiques, like Will Smith, Mike's character, he absolutely, I get that he was afraid in the final scene, but he absolutely had a clear shot that, what's his name, McGrath? He had a clear shot with, McGrath. He was just, standing still, and he could have easily, shot him and saved Christine. So, I don't know, he didn't, and, I don't like that. It was very, very easy shot he could have taken. But in terms of action, I would give it, I would say it's good. It's not it's good action. It's better than, I guess, the first movie still, and probably the second one also, but it's good. I'd say nothing more than that. In terms of comedy, this was probably not as funny as the second or the third movie. It's still probably, they're still there. You got the moments with like Mike and Marcus. They still have their moments where they're funny. Like the opening scene with where Marcus going to, he's only supposed to buy a ginger ale, and he ends up buying Skittles and a hot dog. That was probably the funniest scene in my opinion in the whole movie. So in terms of comedy, you still have the comedy there, and it still works. But it didn't feel as memorable, I guess. Even now I'm kind of struggling to remember exactly some of the funnier bits of this one. Nothing really stands out as much as the second movie. I still think has the funniest bits in the whole franchise, and so in this one, again, I didn't really like the dynamic of Marcus not being Marcus being he's not afraid of anything. I didn't really think it helped with creating comical scenes. So but the comedy's still good. I'd say it's still you still get some laughs here and there. So in terms of buddy cop, this one did not feel like a buddy cop at all, because you do have the Ammo Squad here. You have this one felt the least like a buddy cop in my opinion. It felt but in terms of buddy cop, I'm just gonna give it a 5 out of 10 because it didn't really feel like a buddy cop as much. I didn't feel like the emphasis was so much on Mike and Marcus's relationship. It felt like there were a lot of outside factors at play that didn't really contribute towards it being a buddy cop. Also the last movie, it felt like the Ammo Squad, they didn't really get in the way in the last movie. In this one, here I'll say this, you have Armando in the mix now, so I think that kind of maybe messes with it a bit of feeling like a buddy cop, because a buddy cop, it's traditionally two characters, two cops, and they're that's the buddy cop dynamic. And in this one you have Armando who's tagging along, so it does kind of ruin the feel of it being a buddy cop and stuff, which I would say in the last movie, the Ammo Squad, didn't really take away from any of the buddy cop aspects, it felt like. So in terms of buddy cop, I'm just gonna give it I'll give it a 5 out of 10, because it doesn't really feel like a buddy cop that much, but it's also not a bad buddy cop per se. In terms of suspense, I would say probably I give it a 6 out of 10. It was maybe not a 6 out of 10, maybe I'm trying to think. There were moments where I was wondering oh, what's gonna happen now? I wonder where this is going. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was above average, I'd say, the suspense. There was no moment where I was really in the last movie, there was more suspense in my opinion of you're trying to see Armando and what's gonna happen with Mike and I'm trying to think of specifics. It's hard off the bat, but in terms of suspense, this one was I'd give it a 6 out of 10. The worst thing in this movie, probably just the fact that they changed Marcus's personality. I didn't really like it, how he was because the core dynamic that I liked up until this point was that and something I said about the last few movies that I really liked was just that you had Mike and Marcus in their dynamic of one being really guns a-blazing and the other one being more no, let's take this safe and stuff. So I don't really like that they changed Marcus's character to be more so not afraid of death and stuff. So it didn't work for me. So because of that, I would give that a 4.5. In terms of the best thing, I would say the best part of this was probably Armando. I really liked all the stuff with him, everything just with his relationship with Mike, his role in the story, his saving Callie at the end, all the stuff with Armando I really liked a lot. So because of that, I would give that a 7.5, I would say. And so now I'm gonna do actually before that, let's just see any extra details I have. I really like the theme of the franchise. I don't think I've said it up to this point, but the theme song, the jingle, it's great. I love it a lot. It had some good first-person action that was interesting towards the end. I wouldn't say it's like amazing or anything, but it was cool and interesting to see. There was a post-credit scene with it was a bit about like how Mike was Marcus's donkey in like a previous life, so they did have a post-credit scene with that, which I did find humorous. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a magic trick right now. So it ends up, when you do the calculations, it comes out to a 6 out of 10. I would probably give it higher than that. I guess, yeah, it does end up coming out to that, but I would still say it's not, 6 out of 10 would be like above average. I would say it's better than above average. I would probably give it like a, probably like a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good. Like it's, yeah, it's pretty good in my opinion. Like it's not as good as the last one, which I was hoping it would be, but you know, I'm always hoping like the next movie will be better. But in terms, yeah, it's a 7 out of 10, pretty good in my opinion. There's like still good stuff to like about it, but it doesn't reach the heights of the peak of this franchise, I'd say. So yeah, that was the final review, and I think the next video I'm going to try to do is going to be my first tier list video, where I will be going over, I'll do a tier list for this, all the movies in this franchise, and at the end I will probably rate the franchise as a whole, so look forward to that. And with that said, I think that is about it, so leave your recommendations in the comments, any movies, shows, anime, anything you got, leave it in the comments, and I will possibly check it out. And with that said, let's leave it at that.